Hey witches of the moon, happy Wednesday. It is Jess Spellbound here. This is week 13. We are not on week 13, we are on season 13. And this week we are talking about the importance of a book of shadows. So let me give you my overall viewpoint and then I'll get into how I do things. So my overall viewpoint is if your recollection of spells and workings is not something that you keep track of, if it's not something that you journal about or not even journal about, because I guess you don't have to with Book of Shadows, Book of Mirrors, a grimoire, whatever you choose to call it. If there is no significance in that for you, then the importance of having a Book of Shadows is none, right? If you're not interested in keeping a log and a accounting of what you've done in the past that have worked, then there's no big deal about a Book of Shadows. Now, for me, I put major emphasis on Book of Shadows because I like seeing where I've come from and where I am at, especially with my workings, with my rituals, with my tarot. I think it's really important to have a really a good idea of your progression of things and the way that you've changed. I think it adds another level to your work. So for me, because typically with that, then it's like, what do you do or how do you keep them? So I have everything from gift, like I'd gotten this as a gift. This one has all of my recipes in it, my incense blends that I use, what I use them for, tea, and oils. That's all that's in here. 3 things. And then I have random ones that catch random thoughts like this. Well, random doodles. Pages are falling out of it. There's a whole lot of information just kind of shoved in with sticky notes, and sometimes that's how I do it. And this is like a $5 art journal from Walmart. Then I get really crafty and I decide I'm going to make my own. And there's currently nothing in this one. Oh, my daughter stole it apparently and scribbled. Just to have something to throw into my book bag. Here's a bigger one that I made. And this one, okay. So yeah. So what I was doing in the past was I would take books that I haven't read in a really long time, old books that I've had for 20 plus years that I no longer use as a reference tool or use the workings out of, because where I'm at in my practice, it is not something that I take from a book and put into application. I take the advice from a book, I take an outline from a book, and then I change up the words and I kind of do my own thing to them. So what I've done is I've taken things from books, and if you're a book lover, I'm sorry, I am also a book lover, but I wanted information in one spot, is that I literally was taking them out and cutting the pages out and shoving them into a book. And then when I decide to use that word, well, these are all my own, but when I decide to use that working, I'll go in and I'll change it on that page. It was just for the sake of not having to copy it. Then I literally got so lazy, look, a study book of anything magical. And this is mostly tarot information, tarot readings, tarot spreads. I'd like to come up with a course that goes along with Women Who Run with the Wolves and do a tarot study along with that. So that's that book. And then I have my giant recipes. These are really just mundane recipes. These are my everyday recipes. But in the back of that book, in the back of this binder, I have a splitter that is for that's for magical recipes, for the holidays, for the Sabbats, for full moon cookies, for fairy cookies, for I love this one's my favorite one. And this one I think I found off of Pinterest. It's the Dark Mother honey wheat bread. It is amazing, but it's in here. So my stuff is all over the place, but there are 3 more that I have that I use all the time. And those books I won't show. They're very, very personal. I've made them by hand. I love them. But I don't think I could do my type of practice without having a book of shadows to record what I've done, what hasn't worked, what has worked, what I liked, what I didn't like, changing things up. I need to have something written down. That way, if something works, fabulous. I'm gonna refer to that all the time. If there's an incense blend that I really love, I want to be able to keep an accurate description of what I put in it. So for me, they are an essential tool, just like anything else, just like candles, just like incense. A book of shadows to me is a tool that helps me in my practice. And I know that not everybody feels that way, and that's okay. But for me, they are essential to my witchcraft and to my tarot practice. So that's the importance of a book of shadows for me. It is somewhere where I can keep all of my spells, all of my workings, all of my recipes, and whatever, whether it be oils, incense, blends, or brews, they're all together. And I try to keep it as organized as possible, even though it doesn't look like it. But you know, I hope that if you don't keep a book of shadows, that you may feel inclined to give it a try and see how it goes. And I hope it's something that you enjoy doing, because really anything that goes along with their witchcraft that's a tool to excel, to propel you forward, to propel you in moving in your practice. Then I think that works. Okay, I'm moving along. I have children and dogs barging in. Okay, everybody, blessed be. Goodbye.